You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Wilfred After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Wilfred After Show.
Yeah. Give us that sweet canned applause.
It wasn't as loud as it should be.
Yeah, we're great.
Yeah.
Fake people in a box somewhere.
Why don't we get more applause
probably
for things?
Dead. Why aren't you clapping harder?
Clap.
Yeah.
There it is. Bing is for doing. We're here doing the Wilfred podcast, and Jack is giving me his shit-eating grin. Tonight's episode of Wilfred, Guilt, Season 2, Episode 4.
I'm feeling guilt right now
And-
for how I
and
feel
you'll
about
be-
Bing.com.
And you'll be over it in 5 seconds because you operate like a dog.
It's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Barrett. With me, as sometimes, is...
The glorious leader of our fair republic, Mr. Jack Was.
And as always is...
A guy, Greg Goodness.
Guy Greg Goodness.
A guy.
Just
Who
a
is
guy.
Greg Goodness?
Ladies
I'm
and
no
gentlemen,
glorious leader, but yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just did alliteration.
Oh, that's right.
And by that I
We're
mean Greg.
smart.
Is
I'll
that- is
lend
that
out
one of
my
the-
credit to your
Is that
group.
one of the AFTERBUZZ, was it tenets or creeds?
Yes, is always use alliteration as often as possible.
Okay.
But they only put that in there because they know you don't know what alliteration means, Jack.
It's
Jack's like, so we talk about sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
That's what alliteration is?
Guys, I know what alliteration is. It's when you light something really well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's episode of Wilfred was called Guilt. And it opened with a quote from Irma Bombeck.
We missed out, like, the past 2 episodes doing the who is the quote from this week. I don't know who it is.
I got myself a little
So,
Wikipedia app on my
while-
phone.
quote-
while
I
you're
mean, I'm
looking-
going to Bing it. I'm going to Bing it.
While you're looking for that,
Are you on
we should
Bing?
probably mention later
What?
on we have some pretty cool news coming up. We have Jason Gahn, who obviously the man in the dog suit, did a interview through Assignment X, which apparently they do good interviews. It had some very revealing stuff. Talks a lot about bear, which we like to talk about.
Bear.
And the various fluids that are inside a bear at this point. So, so stay tuned for that. And have we figured out who Era Bombeck is?
Irma Bombeck.
Is it Irma? I thought it was
Irma Louise Bombeck, née Fist, was an American humorist who achieved great popularity for her newspaper column that described suburban home. Oh my God! Much like my new best friend Garrison Keillor.
Garrison Keillor
Was an American humorist. I should finish this Irma Bombeck thing
Yeah,
before
probably.
I get into my new beef.
We'll get to our Keillor talk.
We'll get to Keillor beef later. She wrote about her suburban home life from the mid-'60s until the late '90s. She's also published 15 books, most of which became bestsellers.
So she's dead, right?
She's dead. She died in 1996.
I mean, that's good.
We
I guess.
shouldn't be laughing at it, but you
But
just
here's
you
something.
state it so simply.
Here's something, folks. Forgive my crassness. This is only for Jack. She was 69 when she died.
A good age to go,
That's
if
awesome.
there ever was one.
Ooh,
She was
So
69 in 96.
yeah.
That's some.
That's some serious people doing oral on each other right there.
If
And
people
then-
were
and then-
numbers.
Then putting their butts against each
And then
other's
putting their
back
butts
to each
against-
other's heads.
But I mean, that's
is
how I
96
get
and-
off.
I
don't
know.
know about
you and I
don't know about you.
96th after last week's show.
Yeah, it was great.
I had to keep you from killing yourself, so we
Right.
96'd.
So we 96'd in the
Just
back of Jack's Mini Cooper.
Press some hairy butts up against each other's faces, or heads, I guess.
The back of the head.
Yeah.
So just a quick side note, guys. Garrison Keillor officially has beef with at least us here on the Wilfred AfterBuzz show because his stupid thing at the Hollywood Bowl made it take 20 minutes for me to get on the 101 today.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering why we're starting a little bit late with the Wilfred podcast,
It's Garrison Keillor's fault.
and
he's
his,
dead, right?
Yeah, zombie Garrison Keillor was doing a reading at the Hollywood Bowl tonight.
Yeah, he was 96 in front of a giant crowd.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Prove us wrong, Garrison Keillor.
Garrison Keillor, we got beef. So
What are you gonna do about
What are
it?
you gonna do? Call us 424-256-1729.
I'm surprised that you remember that
I
number.
know. Well, I've heard it enough.
We have a
Or
phone number?
that's the phone number for here. Or find us on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV with your little prairie _ home.
Don't plug
Twitter.
his Twitter. We
No,
don't-
I
wait,
want
your
this.
name is
No, I
Twitter.
want people to follow. I want people to follow the whole beef, because we got beef, Garrison Keillor. We got beef.
I think
Speaking-
America already has beef with him because no one saw that movie when it was in theaters.
A Prairie Home Companion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of the
starring-
most popular radio shows in the history of radio.
Yeah, but it starred as 17-year-old Lindsay Lohan before all the blow.
True. And that's your greatest fault,
Hey,
Garrison Keillor.
Guys.
Other than making me late, Garrison Keillor. Wilfred.
speaking of beef, you know who we have beef with? Kristen, who's
Kristen.
back in the picture.
What's she
She
doing
is.
back? She's back from
And-
India.
Gregor.
Super chunky.
She got a baby in her uterus.
A little bit of a baby bump, and I'm not particularly thrilled to have her back. It's interesting to have her back as a character, but man, oh man, they go out of their way to make her really grating in this episode.
Real bad.
The writing staff for Wilfred seems to have a problem with women.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say that, like,
You know what I'm gonna say?
I would say aside from Rashida Jones's character last season, there have been very few sympathetic women on the show.
I would say anyone who is sympathetic, and by the anyone who is sympathetic, I mean Amanda, the scientist
there is
girlfriend.
no one sympathetic on the show. It's not just
Yeah,
women.
that's
it's just
true.
everyone is horrible.
That is true.
Which is part of the charm, but Kristen goes beyond that in this episode.
That
Which,
goddamn Kale.
oh yeah,
Oh.
asking for Kale.
Anyone? I heard the keywords of Kale and Brentwood, and I would have been like Wilfred and tried to punch that baby out.
No, here's what got me, and here's what I think it was a brilliant move, because I think anyone can relate to this. When she walks in, she's like, well, while I was in India, we learned a lot about Indian culture and like shawarma and using all these catchphrases.
Shawarma.
Yeah,
Not shawarma.
shawarma.
Very
shawarma.
different.
Well, also she was talking about shawarma at some point, I think. But yeah, that whole like, oh, I went to India and now I know I'm so much more enlightened, man. Don't you get it? Like that. Ooh,
know,
that
it's
made
so
me right off the bat.
repulsive.
Which, again, good thing for her character because we're supposed to hate her.
That's what's been established. She is an insufferable new age hippy dippy person I want to shoot in the face.
She wasn't always so hippy dippy
Yeah.
though. It's after this trip to India.
Yeah, but she's always been
come on.
kind of new agey, right?
I wouldn't say new agey. She's been very yuppie, which
Yeah.
is at times, interchangeable with new agey.
Yeah.
Like that goddamn Kale. Anyone who orders Kale is my freaking enemy.
And the wrong
You remembered
kind
that
of
from
kale.
you remembered it from the test, Jack. You can't say swear words.
I did.
We're really trying to cut down on our swearing here at AfterBuzz.
Trying to. For those of you at home who don't know, we have a new, much like the No Child Left Behind Act, we have a stringent new series of weeding out potentially bad AfterBuzz hosts,
Jack.
which is taking a written test written by Phil Svitek, who doesn't have a very good grasp of the English language.
Oh, come on now. It was fine.
no.
In fairness, it wasn't fine.
Terrible.
I love Phil to death.
Phil's done some despicable things in his life. Like, just completely unforgivable. And that test is among them.
I agree on both fronts. But
Not nearly as unforgivable and horrible as Kristen, to tie that.
absolutely not.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the knife.
Yeah,
No.
no. No, Phil's pulled a knife on me, but going to India and being a bitch about it, way
And asking
worse.
for kale.
worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Awful.
I mean, in all
I
fairness,
think-
who hasn't pulled a knife on you?
No, definitely everyone I know has pulled a knife on me.
Wilfred
both of us
trying to pull a knife on
Yeah,
her
Wilfred
as
pulled
well.
Wilfred pulled a coat hanger on her.
Lots of
Lots of
plastic
horrible
bags.
things.
Hey
Though,
guys,
how can you blame her? How can you blame him though? Because it's just
she is so horrible.
And it's
You
here's
know, she's gonna be even worse as a mother.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh.
because she's pregnant now, but once that little turd comes out, she is gonna dote on it.
Hey guys, before we get too far into this, let me just remind our listeners out there. y'all shop on Amazon.
who doesn't.
Don't front.
We got
Don't
things
front.
to buy.
They sell everything there.
We're
Everything.
consumer
Did
culture.
you can buy a crossbow on Amazon?
You probably could.
Only one way to find out.
And that way is to go on is when you're searching around on AfterBuzz TV, as I know Jack is wont to do.
We have a website? I always thought we just were on iTunes or something.
AfterBuzzTV.com. Over on that little website where you're probably going to be at some point, dear listener, because God knows you love us. There's a little banner ad. Little banner ad you can click on. Click on the little banner ad for Amazon. Takes you right to Amazon.com. Shop like you normally would shop on Amazon.com. Doesn't change anything. And in fact, takes the process of typing crap into your navigation bar.
Who has the time?
Who has the time?
Whenever I
Who
click
has
on a
the
banner
effort?
ad, it takes me to Adult Friend Finder.
Right, but that's your fault.
But
And that's because you're also constantly on adultfriendfinder.com.
That's gotta
it's
be it.
tailored to your interests,
so
dude.
what you're saying is that when I click on the Amazon link, it'll bring me to Adult Friend Finder, so I can find friends in the Los Angeles area to have
No,
adult
as a matter of fact,
any
Jack, you
friend
know.
that you find, a small kickback of that friendship will go to AfterBuzz
So what you're saying
TV.
is that Adult Friend Finder directly sponsors AfterBuzz TV.
No,
That's right,
no.
folks. Amazon.com gives us a kickback if you use the link on our website to buy stuff from Amazon.com. If you end up on Adult Friend Finder,
That's your problem.
good for you, I guess, but that was not our fault.
I think the audience for Adult Friend Finder and AfterBuzz TV would overlap significantly.
Probably, yes. Probably. So, guys,
If you stay too long on Adult Friend Finder and you find a friend that you really connect with,
Don't
you
poop
might
a
end
baby
up
out.
having a baby. And babies are bad, as Wilfred found out.
Babies are super bad because
this
they
episode.
take away the cuteness from dogs.
that's right.
A valid argument. Wilfred's been really concerned about how cute he is.
And
this
how much
season.
attention he's getting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's being a little needy this season.
He is, you know,
And
hanging out
oh
with
man,
beans.
oh man, is it gonna F everything up if there's a baby coming on? So here he is doing what any normal dog or Greg Goodness would do,
Oh,
Trying to
Wilfred
murder
was
the
my
child.
idol in this episode.
and trying to kill an unborn baby.
I wouldn't go that far, but I really dislike babies. I hate them on planes. I hate them in movie theaters. I hate them when they're starting to talk but can't quite talk, and so they're just doing that string of like, hello cereal. Like, I hate it. I hate it.
Which cereal were they asking for?
Any cereal, it doesn't matter. They're not even like in a cereal aisle. They're just at like a Home Depot and they're asking
That's
for
a-
cereal.
you know,
That's because they're children.
When I was a baby, I never wanted cereal. What I always wanted was croissants.
Of
So
course, all you wanted was croissants. You
Did you
yuppie.
speak that down from your chariot upon which you had 4 people carrying you, as in Egyptian days?
No, I just made my mom give them to me.
Aw.
It was adorable.
Was your mom
chubby little baby.
adorned in gold and bejeweled in diamonds?
No, she was not nearly as gilded as this lovely altar we have to Maria Menounos.
That's a nice guild.
Maria.
Babies.
But
Babies.
so there's
Wilfred's
like this war. I'm not the war between dogs and babies. Maybe a bit exaggerated on the part of Wilfred.
You know, this is the kind of thing I can see Fox News running with the next time there's like a big panic and it's America's war on babies.
Dogs wars on
Yeah.
babies.
American dogs killing babies.
I want to
11.
know where that speech that Wilfred gave, though, was lifted from, because it totally sounded like something that was not written,
I
just
don't know, like
off the cuff.
Henry V or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Something about entrails. Seeing the sheer
Titus,
number
maybe.
of ways that they came up with that a dog would try to kill a baby, and really just a person would try to kill a baby.
Just imagine being in the writer's room for that. All right, guys, we need to come up with like 24 ways to murder a child. Not even a child. To suck out a zygote from the mother.
No, at
And
this point it's a
Will-
fetus.
yeah,
At this point it's a fetus.
Wilfred on his back, pointing a dustbuster at her vagina, trying to suck out the kid. Might have been one of my favorite moments of television this year.
Of course it was.
And the look on his face while he did it, was
Just utter glee.
This was Wilfred at his worst as a dog / person, but also at I think the funniest we've seen him so far this season.
I can agree with that.
Really, really fun game to run with just over and over again. So kudos to the writers for figuring it out.
Yeah.
Just
And-
the plastic bags was
Oh,
inspired.
Pink versus blue garbage bags. Again, horrible. So horrible, but it's all within that realm. It's all so tight. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved
And I
it.
love the line, oh, I should have put a pizza cutter on the end of his penis.
Why? Why didn't I have the foresight? Because it's so obvious in retrospect.
In retrospect, it really is. Just strap it on there. Because he's not going to notice.
Exactly.
You know, he's
Who
too busy.
would?
He's too busy thinking about getting it in there.
It'll be just like 7.
Oh my god.
That actually happens in 7.
In the
Yeah,
Lost
remember?
one, right? In the
Yeah,
the Lust guy.
is they make the guy put on
Oh, right. They
the
made
suit.
me put it on.
Yeah, with the suit, and then he has sex with the prostitute, and he stabs her in the insides.
Right. So we
So
didn't
thank you,
see...
Wilfred, for a 7 reference.
Also, the baby
wasn't a
getting stick is a baby getting stick
didn't
is such a funny thing.
And I didn't see it. I think that because of the lighting or whatever, you missed it the first time. But as he's poking that essentially like a broomstick through, there's a coat hanger
Yep,
tied to
around
the
the
end of
end.
it that I only saw, again, because of lighting, I totally missed it. But as he's putting it away off into the corner, you can totally see it. Which, again, as far as baby killing jokes, is just perfect. Also, I like that the baby was always getting the better of Wilfred in terms of speaking
In terms of
to
their
him.
and their little verbal arguments that we only hear one
So
side of.
is the baby actually speaking, or is Wilfred a schizophrenic dog? Maybe that's the point of the series, is that Wilfred is the
Wilfred's
schizophrenic
schizophrenic?
one.
Wilfred is the only person
No.
that's real in
No,
a world
okay.
full of dogs.
Okay. Ryan is so schizophrenic that the visions he has are of schizophrenic beings.
So he's double schizophrenic.
We are really in the rabbit hole at this point.
We're like three
Yeah,
dreams deep in Inception right
He's,
now.
Yeah.
he's
we
like
are
he's the
incepted.
Crunchwrap Supreme of schizophrenia.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. Ryan, Crunchwrap Supreme of schizophrenics.
You know,
That's gotta
the
be a
great thing about
hashtag.
Crunchwrap Supremes
Is
is that they
that
give you
iTunes?
schizophrenia.
They do.
I dare Taco Bell for refuting my claim.
Taco Bell, prove it. Give us a buttload of Crunchwrap Supremes right
prove
now.
that they don't give us
We'll eat
schizophrenia.
all of them, and if we don't get schizophrenic, we'll let everyone know that you don't cause schizophrenia.
And
If
our-
you cause schizophrenia, you have to pay for our medical bills.
Schizophrenic stuff.
Yeah.
But how are we going to let them know? What is a medium that we can use if we have an opinion about something?
Zanga.
It doesn't even need to be, I don't
Funny-
know, tacos. It could maybe be
funny-
about a podcast.
Funny you should bring up giving people opinions, Greg, because, well, have you guys heard of Apple?
Like the fruit?
Yeah. The fruit, right?
I think, I guess they're
It's
like
a city
oh,
in France, right?
something like that.
He's dead, right?
Yes.
Ouch.
So there's this company called Apple that I guess started as like an Apple sales company or something.
Oh yeah,
stupid like
Washington
that.
Apples. I know that.
Yeah. But now they have this thing called iTunes. And they have a little like app in that iTunes thing.
What part of the fruit does that come in?
I think the butt.
Okay.
I think it's in the butt of the app.
So the apple poops out iTunes.
I don't know if that's how it works, but in this iTunes, there's a little bit of there's a thing called an app for podcasts. This right here that y'all are experiencing right now is a podcast.
And we just got to the fourth dream in Inception.
That's right.
I believe you mean the bean layer.
So guys, you can go on this little iTunes thingy and find our little podcast, rate it, comment on it, tell your friends. If it takes you more than a minute that's honestly your fault. So
Wait, aren't they listening to this on iTunes in the first place?
possibly,
Probably.
probably.
Isn't that
They
where y'all are
can
from?
they can
Why don't we
listen
plug
to
iTunes
it.
if they're listening?
They can listen across any number of mediums. The point is, we want you to rate it. We want you to comment. It helps us figure out just what we're doing.
And how badly we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Honestly, guys, we really do appreciate your comments, either good or bad. It really does help us know
So, like-
what we're doing on the show.
So let's say you have something nice to say, like, gee, John, you're really handsome. Or something mean to say, like, gee, Jack's a meanie. Put it out there.
that's not even really a mean thing to say.
There's much worse they can say.
And
well,
they will
prove
because
it.
it's the internet.
Prove it and say mean things about Jack. That's our challenge for the week.
You know, I will
Whoever
give-
says the meanest
I
thing
will-
about Jack will
gets
get a
free
shout
DVD.
out. Gets a free scratch DVD of Lord of the Rings: The Two
I will
Towers.
send them a DVD
that.
copy. I will overnight them a DVD copy of The Sorcerer's Apprentice by Disney to whoever says the meanest comment about me on iTunes.
All right, guys. So there's our challenge. Do
There,
it.
it's all out there. The finish line is in sight. You just gotta run through the ticker tape and get that DVD of whatever Disney movie.
The
Jack
Sorcerer's
just-
Apprentice,
The
starring
Sorcerer's-
Nicolas Cage and Alfred Molina.
Oh, a Nick Cage movie. How could you refuse?
Come on, guys. Say something mean. Guys, this episode was about guilt
It
yes.
was.
and letting go of guilt, which honestly is sort of a running theme of this show, and it still hasn't sunk in for him.
I will say though that I had the epiphany in this episode. Maybe it's not even an epiphany, but this was really the most emotionally hard-hitting episode for me, because I think that towards the end, Kristen's bit about, oh, well, then it has to be my fault. Perfect. That it was a good setup. It's what I've come to expect from Wilfred in terms of the sort of moral message. But the line before that, the real heartfelt moment where Wilfred is walking up the stairs and says, if she's not going to forgive you, then you need to do the forgiving for her. Which to me is just, I felt that was, this is Ryan encapsulated here,
Yeah.
right? Is he's got all these hang-ups, and it's just about learning to live your life and move forward.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little overly mushy about that one particular moment, but that was really nice for me,
Yeah.
personally.
You know, I do worry. Ryan has such an adorable relationship with the scientist that, you know, it's actually really sweet and one of the few parts of the show that isn't completely messed up. And I wonder what they're going to do.
When that shoe's gonna drop?
Yeah.
Save it for predictions, buddy.
Fine.
Yeah, but I think it's this is the first time we actually see we see Ryan really forgive himself without backtracking. You know,
Yeah.
That's true.
like
Yeah, that's
he,
very true.
every time he does it, he backtracks almost immediately, and this time he doesn't get a chance to. Luckily, and hopefully it sticks because I'm kind of tired of the same thing happening over and over.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's nice that it's with Kristen, it's with his family instead of Jenna. You know, one part of it is that it's so, you know, you really feel for him. It's very personal, as opposed to the Jenna storyline where it's just, oh, he's still trying to get the cute girl who's kind of a dick to him.
Right.
And it feels like a real breakthrough. Like this is something that's been plaguing him since the first episode.
Absolutely. Also, we're 2 episodes without Jenna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she made the brief appearance there in the first 2 episodes, and then
that's
we
right.
haven't, but we didn't see
Yeah,
her really last week.
What's Fiona
She's
Goobleman
been-
up to?
She's been they've been downplaying that role in the show, which I think is kind of good, because now we're finally expanding the world. And we
Although,
get to-
what I've been wondering is, you know, so Wilfred's still Jenna's dog.
Right.
I wrote that
But-
down too.
But he's become Ryan's dog.
They need to address that.
Yeah.
They need to go in and just listen. She comes over and says, hey, you know, it's really rough, and you have such a good relationship with Wilfred. It should be your dog. Because that would just at least give me a little bit of closure
Yeah.
as to
Yeah.
how is Wilfred over at his house like 7 days
Constantly.
a week.
Exactly. And, you know, the first season, there was a lot of Wilfred. Wilfred's very protective of Jenna, you know, and he loved her, but it just doesn't seem that way anymore.
Yeah.
So, guilt on his end, maybe. on
Maybe.
Wilfred.
Well, no, because he's over guilt in every 5 seconds.
That's true.
Yeah.
The watch device
clockwork.
was nice.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
pretty
really
fun.
funny. That was a really good gag, the watch device. Hey, you guys want to hear something really cool? It's called a commercial.
It's the coolest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's run that beautiful bean footage.
Bing.
Hey there, good buddies. The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AFTERBUZZ TV. And why? Because AFTERBUZZ TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows, like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. No, I got some strong opinions. And AFTERBUZZ TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AFTERBUZZ TV goodness. Check them out. Give them a holler. And tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
XOXO Woolly Bear.
So he pretty much admits to murder in that. Like, he fell asleep driving a
Well,
big
he
rig.
admits to falling asleep at the wheel, which, along with the guy who hates his coworkers so much, I feel like we have a lot of people who are really bad at their jobs listening.
Most
to
people, here's the thing though, is that most people are really bad at their job and just trying to pretend that they're not really bad
That's
at their
a good point.
job.
That's a good point that Greg makes.
I would also like to point out it's not that big of a deal because The Simpsons have taught us anything. It's that every single truck has a little automated driver that you don't even need to touch the wheel. It'll just take you to your destination.
True. As well as doing a half-assed job is the American way.
That's right. That's right. XOXO
If you hate
Woolly
your
Bear.
job, you don't quit. You just do it really, really, really half-assed.
Hey guys, I hear we have a special segment coming up.
That we do. Jason Gahn, the man in the dog suit, the man that we always talk so much about and refuse to refer to him as his actual name, which is, oh yeah, Wilfred. Jason Gahn is an actual person beneath all that fur, and he did an interview.
I thought they trained a dog really well for that show.
Yeah, a really humanoid-looking dog.
That's crazy. He's dead, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He did an interview with a site called Assignment X. It's a really great interview, and he goes into a little bit about the writing process, talks about some of the things that we've been talking about since episode 1. One thing that I thought was really interesting, because we've been talking about it since the first episode of this season, is the cliffhanger that they left off on. If it seemed a little abrupt coming back in and crashing back down, according to Jason Gahn, that's because they had no game plan for getting out of that. They just wrote
like
it.
Lost.
They wrote it, and then they said, okay, great, this is a suspenseful place to end it, and
Bye.
then we'll figure it
see if we have
out.
a season next year.
Exactly. We'll figure it out when we get back. They haven't always been figuring it out. In fact, as of right now, or like a day ago when this was published, they have not yet broken the last 4 episodes, the storylines for the last 4 episodes of this season. So they're still figuring it out. They don't know.
Wait, they're still shooting?
They're still
That's very surprising.
They're still writing and shooting and doing all that. So,
But most importantly, he talked about the most important character on the show.
Bear.
he talks about Bear, which kudos to the interviewers over at Assignment X for harping this much on it, because it's clear that Jason Gahn's like, yeah, we're spending a lot of time talking about Bear, and they're like, no, we're going to talk more about Bear. They talk about Bear and how he's been appearing less in episodes. Jason Gahn's like, yeah, he'll be appearing more, don't worry about it. And they address something that we've always talked about, which is Bear coming to life a la Wilfred as a real person, or Rhea Perlman as his mother's cat. And he doesn't diffuse it. He doesn't say, no, we're not going to do that. Bear's Bear, and the stuffed animal is what it is.
Ooh, who's going to play Bear?
There's, as long as it's like tastefully done, that's not a direct quote, but it's the general.
Yeah, as long as Bear is tastefully nude in the episode.
And we'll also probably see more of Raffi, according
Awesome.
to
Nice.
Jason
I hope
Gahn.
Bear is played by the guy who played the main Ewok in
Oh,
Return of the Jedi.
I mean Warwick Davis?
Yes, that's his name.
And finally, there's tons and tons of info in this article, so definitely check it out. Assignment X interview with Jason Gahn. But my favorite thing is they ask him, is Ryan crazy? And his answer, which I think is the best I've heard so far, is, well, he's no more crazy than the guy from Mr. Ed. So there you go.
So
Ryan,
yeah,
So-
equal or lesser than.
So Mr. Ed was really about just an entire town that was schizophrenic.
that's exactly correct.
And all thought there was a talking horse.
Yep.
We're on the 5th dream in Inception now.
Sour cream.
Speaking of weird noises, I think it's time.
Yeah. Love that spooky
And
theory.
now, your AfterBuzz TV
God, he's sexy.
I know. I want to bang
So
him.
much. Ooh, we got the lighting going on in
Wow,
the
that's
background
awesome.
I want to take a long truck ride with our announcer.
Yeah, me too.
too. Forget
What?
Jelly
Whoops.
Bear or whatever his name is.
Jack, you were saying some things in the wrong place earlier.
I tend to do that. Like in church.
Like everything.
Or at a
When have
funeral.
you gone to church?
God, you're right.
Yeah, sinner.
So, I'm not a sinner. I'm a Quaker. So,
Same difference.
what were we talking about? Predictions?
Predictions. What's going to
Jesus.
happen?
All right. So, there was a lot of talk about babies in this episode.
Uh-huh.
And my favorite joke was when Wilfred tried to kill it.
Great. And that's a prediction. How? God damn it, I hate you so much.
Well, what's your witty retort, John? What's your grand prediction?
Baby's fake.
I actually did
I
think that
completely
too.
thought that.
But the paramedics came in, and so you're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Maybe she paid the paramedics off.
My prediction is that
I think this show's dark enough to actually have a miscarriage.
that's true. Baby falls through. I think that
It's a poor choice of words.
that is a horrible choice of words.
The last episode is just Wilfred comes up with a infant in his mouth, just like, Ryan, look what I found.
Da, 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 da.
Greg, you were saying?
You know what? I'm just gonna leave it at that. I can do no better than.
Wilfred
All right.
eating a baby.
Oh, let's plug what we gotta plug.
Yeah, plug some stuff. Go. Go. Go.
John's anti-Harrison Keeler hashtag, which is.
Keeler beef.
Also, follow me on Twitter at Jack Waz, or follow me on Facebook, Jack Waz, or more importantly, watch Final Offer on Discovery because it's a great show.
Instead of Wilfred.
And I need a second season.
Check out the show The Grind on AfterBuzz TV, or not AfterBuzz TV, on thegrind.com. I've been working on that. Also follow me on Twitter, Generic Maverick. It's making a comeback, believe it or not.
I am also on Twitter. I am at Barrett on there.
And everyone, follow Headline News because John will probably kill himself this week.
I'm probably going to do
It's
it.
gonna be the week. This is the week.
This is the week. I know it's like Gigi Allen over here, and I keep saying it and I'm not doing it, but believe me.
Be less him and more David Foster Wallace.
Oh, sad. All right,
Wow.
on that note, come
that
on.
note,
Come on,
guys,
let's wrap it up.
thanks for listening. Catch us next week, except for maybe me. Definitely not Jack, because if I'm going, he's going with me. Same bat time, same bat channel.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Keeler beef.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.